You're welcome back to Sunday Breakfast on ChannelOne TV. My name is Edo Safo. Just gone by Daniel Foley with some amazing tunes, a mixture of the old and the new, and it was simply amazing and breathtaking. But now we're going into some relationship conversations, and we have Reverend Bernie Osadia. He is a counselor and a coach, and he's joining us today to discuss why setting goals in your relationship is important, so that you don't have to ask the question, you and I, who are we, or where are we, or what has this relationship gotten to?
Is your boo your boo?
Is your boo your boo? Reverend, it's always a pleasure to have you.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. It's been a while. Hope you are keeping well.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you. We're trying to push the boundaries here and there. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, so Reverend, people have described, February as the love month, and next week people will be doing all manner of things. Why are you laughing? Isn't all manner of things that people do on the 14th of February to express their love and all of that? And I like the topic we've chosen, why setting goals is important, so that you won't be going around asking, am I the only one in this relationship, or we are in this together? I think my first question would be, why should we set, goals in a relationship?
Thank you very much. It's always great to be here, and a great good morning to your cherished viewers. To your question, I think that goal setting is a very vital aspect of any life. So just like organizations or individuals set goals, so that they can be able to work towards it and achieve. It becomes important that even people in relationships, if they'll be successful, they need to pay attention to the goals they set. If organizations as large as they are can do it, then I think that couples should pay attention to it. You see, when your heart decides a destination, your mind designs a map to reach it. I don't care whether it's a dress you want to have or a vacation you want to go. Immediately you set your mind to it, or you set your heart that this is what I want. Your mind start working towards it. People can be in relationships for years. When their heart is not desired on, we want to get married, trust me, their mind is never planning anything. Their resources are never put in place in the right way. So goal setting becomes a very critical element of what makes you successful. If you're not setting goals, you're not working towards anything. You wouldn't even know when you have arrived.
Sure.
So it's important to know what destination you're driving towards, so that when you get there, you know, I have arrived. Either than that, like someone's GPS took them to the Teshin shore now. You arrived at the seashore and it's still saying, keep going forward. You can only imagine where you will end up.
It takes my mind back to, when we were in high school. Once in a while you want to be stubborn, you want to be naughty, you flip it, or I wasn't doing it. I wasn't part.
I'm not sure we particularly believe it, but it's okay.
I wasn't part. I was just one time, they jump away, they enter somebody's kitchen in Bubuashi, and they pour the person's soup away, and it was chaos.
Sure you were part of that. The way you're telling the story vividly.
They brought people back in front of the school, so that's how we got to do. They jumped the wall and someone's kitchen, the soup was on the fire. Oh,
everything's gone.
So I like the way you say about, making sure that you know that you've arrived, and that's the reason why you have to set goals. Moving on the conversation, I'm going to ask why it's important. I want to find out how to do it, right? So now we know that you have to do it. But how do you go about setting the goals?
And Reverend, before you answer that though, let me put out our numbers.
Very important.
The WhatsApp number is 0204 447 033. 0204 447 033. So if you have any questions or any inputs, do send them to that WhatsApp number. Alternatively, you can send it through X with a hashtag Sunday Breakfast, and we'll read it here for you. Yes, Reverend, can go ahead.
All right. The question of how is critical. First step before you set any goal is to conduct what we call stock taking. Conduct an assessment. Do a review. See, it's very important. Socrates said, a life that is unassessed is a life not worth living. And I think Soren Kierkegaard said something. He said, life is understood backwards, but lived forward. You need to understand, where have you been? What is going on? What do I want? Where are we going with this? You're asking, am I your boo or your
Is your boo your
is
boo?
your boo your boo?
Which is a new sensation on CTFM.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, Reverend, if you listen to it.
The
Now You Caught It.
Now You Caught It. And I
Yes.
think on Friday with Frema.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy. I was driving towards a meeting and Eradi Mehu.
If Reverend is watching it and you're not watching it, then I don't know. I mean, listening to it, I don't know what you're
Alright,
doing.
let's
You need to
try
tune in.
For me, Now You Caught It show is crazy. When I have the opportunity,
You
I try
don't
to
miss
dial
it.
there. Yes, and especially when Headmistress Frema joins the show,
Yeah, I know.
I think it takes it to a
different level.
madness. So back to it. So it is very critical that you take stock of your life, of even that relationship you are in. Have a proper review, assess, evaluate things, ask questions. You see, a lot of people struggle to do this very critical element of assessment because they introduce some things in their relationship that makes it difficult for that assessment to happen. Like being physically intimate. See, sex is like music. Music is the only thing that no matter how religious you are, you could be singing all the worst lyrics, profane lyrics, and it's okay because music has power. That's what sex is like. When you introduce physical intimacy into your relationship, you can just pay attention, not pay attention to a lot of things that by virtue of your values, you shouldn't be singing or you shouldn't be conducting or you shouldn't actually be compromising on. But immediately you introduce sex, trust me, you can't ask the right questions, you compromise on all the things. I mean, ideally, if you sit across me and I speak profanity to you, you wouldn't take it lightly. But in the music, you sing it. What F that, F. It becomes natural.
Right.
And that is what sex is like.
Right.
When you introduce it into your relationship, all the things that your values abhors, trust me, it becomes normal. So you can't query things, you can't question things, and so on and so forth. So these things hinder people from conducting proper assessments of their life, having to, pay critical attention. People ignore all the red flags. And those are the things you should be querying. It is upon doing that you can know that, hey, I'm in the right space to be able to understand where I am. It is when I now know my state, where I am, after conducting that proper assessment, taking stock, reviewing, how is your life progressing? Where is this relationship taking me? I've been in this for 3 years. I've been in it for 6 months. Am I making headway? What has he brought into my life? How has he influenced the things I do? Have I become a better person? Ask questions. When you do, then you begin to come to the place of understanding and accepting the state where you are. That is where you begin to now set goals. Okay, I don't want to be here. I want to make shifts. I want to take steps. I want to move. I want to be better. I want to improve. I want to decrease here. I want to diminish that. See, that is where goal setting comes in. So the first step is to conduct proper assessment. Take stock, evaluate, assess your life, review things. You don't do it for the fun. You want to tell yourself the truth. Do you understand? You can lie to everyone, but one person you cannot lie to is yourself. So why dip your head in the soil and act as if it doesn't exist? At the end of the day, you're going to spend the rest of your life with that very person that you're talking about. So if you ignore all the red flags, trust me, we'll be here, we'll wait for you. 2 years down the line, things will hit the fan and the reality will set in. So the how is start by assessing, then you sit together. What do you want to do about children? What are the values you want to imprint in them? Where do they find education? What do you do about money? How do we keep money? What do we build together in life? You begin to set goals in all the various areas. You set health goals. In fact, people have, romantic goals. how many times they want to have, passionate love making every week. Do you understand? People make all sorts of, or they set all sorts of goals for themselves because the idea is to bring you to a place together as couples. All right. So the things that will improve your intimacy, how you bond together, they have goals about how they communicate, the things they cannot say to one another. They have goals about when the issues, go high and tensions are high, how they want to go apart and come back. All these things, you need to be able to have the time to communicate and talk it through. If not, I'm telling you, you will be there together, but you are apart. And so many people are in relationships today, but they are way apart.
You're not talking to each other.
They're not. Oh, yeah. A lot of people have checked out long ago. Now, the easiest thing people do is manage themselves, manage the home. So they just adjust themselves in a way that, you know what, let's keep it going. And trust me, all the things that is not happening at home, they are getting it outside. I'm not saying people cheat you, no. But the communications, they're not getting it. The attention, they are getting it elsewhere. Because human beings are communal. No matter your dynamics, no matter your temperament, there must be someone you open up to out there. And if you're not having it with yourself, trust me, the conversation is going on somewhere. Can be friends, can be family, can be exes, can be in-laws. It's a whole new ball game.
I wanted you to also talk to us about, managing expectations, right? Only because you're in a love month. Like Eno said, next week, people will be doing all sorts of things, right? People are in relationships that are not, for want of a better word, clearly defined. So I wish you could just briefly talk to us about how to manage expectations. Because for some people, it can lead to a whole, kind of worms, right? So managing expectations from your partners, maybe you can start with those who are not married, then maybe
The married ones.
the married ones.
So for those that are not married, there are two. There are those who they have an understanding, we are together. We're working towards. Let's see if this will lead to marriage. So it becomes defined. The only thing is, they need to be able to understand that expectations are hard to manage. I keep saying to people, if you don't want disappointments, don't build expectations. It saves a lot. In fact, it's the greatest advice I got in marriage. Don't have expectations because your head will keep knocking the concrete and you wouldn't be okay.
That's true, though. Most men come and they act like they have what they don't have, and then because you can't maintain that same level.
You have no idea what people do to get. See, you must understand that the thing that men do to get your attention, women don't get it. Because see, women are created and born with their values. Men have to work to prove their value. A woman walks into a room, they have attention. Dude, if you walk and pace through here,
Nobody
that's how you take it.
They can't be bothered.
Reality, it can't be bothered.
Right.
You have to bring something to the table before a woman gives you attention. So when the person likes you, but they know they might not have what it takes to grab your attention, they need to create it. They need what they call the make-believe. Make you believe, I got it. And you are also, if you're materialistic, then I'm sorry for you, because at the end of the day, it becomes a challenge. And this is where, when reality gets in, people's hearts get crushed. All right? So it becomes important that if you're in a relationship, you're not married yet, you need to have realistic expectations. Number one, it is not you, don't expect perfection. This thing about people thinking perfection, I want the right guy, must be perfect, I want the right lady. There is nothing like that. I think that life is about progress, not perfection. We need to constantly be making shifts towards the right place. And as long as you see those small shifts, that is progress. It means that with time, the person will get better. We're looking for the perfect lady, flawless, the skin, flawless, the shape, and all these things withers away. In fact, all these things becomes nothing after year 2. There's something about the second year marriage. It's so funny. The honeymoon phase is gone. In reality,
sharp reality sets in.
Dude, you'll be amazed the things that looks at you in the face. See that shape, it means nothing. Because there is a stage in life. It's not just about now what you feel and what it, no. It's about the realities of life that hit you. Life is hitting you home and away. And you need to be able to get a partner that can come along with you. If your partner is not pulling, I'm telling you, you're not going to make it. Wow. And this is why it's important to make sure you're checking these realities out. Understand before you jump. So when it comes to expectation, I would always say, don't have one. Set goals, work towards it. Understand that people can make mistakes. People see, the best of men at their best are still men. The best people you know at their best are still men. They're vulnerable, they're flawed, they can make mistakes. When it happens, deal with their issues, agree with the person, forgive each other, and move on. Someone's husband cheats and their world comes to a how can you? Dude, people cheat. It happens. Maybe they've not told you. Or maybe you think you're so sacrosanct and so high and mighty that nobody can. Dude, some small girl is wagging the tail on your man and it's not even fun. It can happen. Some people will not take it. It's a no, it's a line crossed. Others will tell you, I will work through this guy, get into his head to bring him back to the table. If there are things that need to be sorted. So people handle things differently. So when it comes to expectations, set your own. This is where the goal settings comes in. But I always say that to be on the safer side, for your own sanity, please try as much as possible. Even if you will have expectation, the barest minimum. That will save your head and your heartache.
Reverend, is that for both those in marriage and those?
Oh, for both. You see, the thing about expectations is, in marriage, there are responsibilities and roles, right? Those are not expectations. Of course, I expect certain things to happen based on the fact that we are committed in this together.
Okay.
Recently, I dealt with a couple. They just got married, gone over different phases. But when the woman is angry at something, she doesn't cook. She won't go into the kitchen. She's angry. Her soul is beating. The guy that don't get it, no matter what fight, I still go out there and make things happen. When I come, I expect the things that the lady sees things differently. Right. At that point, it's not an expectation. It's a responsibility. It's a role you play. Right. And that's a contribution you make to the entire, relationship you have. And you don't draw those things. So those, I will not see them as expectations. I'll see them as responsibilities. So there are things that in relationships, we could see them as expectations, but in marriages, they are responsibilities people must take up and work towards. All right? Yes, they can have different expectations of themselves, but I always say that what can save you the most to draw away from any heartache and insanity is to ensure that try to get the minimum, barest minimum when it comes to expectations.
What kind of questions should we be asking when we are setting these goals?
Okay, so since you define the thematic areas, it's about health, finances, the kind of lifestyle you want to have, the personal development goals you want to have. So you can set various areas, career. Based on that, you begin to now say, okay, what do you want to do? So when it comes to the issue of career, where do you want to go? How can I support you to get there? Maybe the person only has a first degree or an SHS or whichever one. It's okay. This is where we are. But for us to do better, we don't really need, that the kind of formal education. But there are some learnings that can support and improve our life. So what are the things? So you begin to ask why we are in this together and we need to move towards a certain level. If you realize that your partner has one way of cooking, then nutrition becomes a conversation to have. Can you take a course? Can we take a course together? Maybe, develop some culinary skills here and there to improve. I mean, find the areas you think you need to pay attention to and ask the whys, the hows, the when, and so on and so forth. Those things helps in setting those objectives that you want to achieve. So first define the areas. When it comes to kids, how many kids do we want to have? Someone was born alone. I'm the only child of my mom. Because of that, I don't know. I want a middle, I don't want too many. I don't want too small. I've got 2 now, but I think maybe I need to work towards 4. She's been wanting 4 for a while, or 5. I've not really paid attention. So, I mean, people, can be able to first define which are the areas. And then you can start asking, how do we get there? When do you think we can? Do we have the resources? How much do we need to? How do we save towards it? And because of those understandings and picture you create, it helps us, instead of we spending this much on that, can we save some, rather do this so that we can save a bit and put it up so that you can start your course by March and then keep things going. Those are some of the things I think you should pay attention to.
It makes sense for me when you contextualize it in that way. And for me, I also wanted to add, for some relationships, there are the soft issues we don't really pay attention to, right? So when Eno asked the question, her prior question before that, it was about hard issues, right? So finances, but emotional support, right? So maybe you can just talk to us briefly about how to manage the emotion bit of it. So affection, concern. People get so busy with work, and it's not like they've deliberately neglected you, but psychologically their mind is in a completely different place.
So, to expectations. See, your spouse have certain expectations about how you relate to them, how you make them feel, how you talk to them, how you, bring it home for them. These are your responsibilities towards her because you're committed in that. I think that if they can be able to articulate it, then it's right to pay attention to it. See, and you're so right. We can do all those things, but we are not connecting or bonding together. It makes it so tough to work through the various things you face on the journey. So I think that it becomes very important that as couples, find out what are the things that makes you tick. What are the things that, understanding the love language of the person also helps to a very large extent. But one of the things I've come to realize is that with time, love language changes. Those things are not static, it changes. So constantly engaging to find out where they are, what they are doing, what is changing, so that you know how you can also adapt and adjust to ensure that you are staying relevant emotionally with her. Some people now develop the thing of touch in a more significant way. They want to be held. People walk through the kitchen and you don't
tap their ass.
They're like, come back. Sorry, am I missing something? They want that to happen. So I think that those aspects also matter a lot. But what is more important is the communication around it. Hey, what can I do to make things spicy? All right. If you're lucky and she doesn't say, oh, just bring more ginger, some more, then you're. But people really pay attention to some of these, and you are so right on that. And if we can be able to have the engagement, then I know what I'm working towards and how I can improve our bonding and emotional attachment to one another.
A friend is, texting me on Snapchat only because Anna and myself posted a picture. And they are following. He wants me to find out from you whether, in the month of February, it's an excuse to indulge in certain acts. I don't ask the question as Rasi put it, but people see it as a leeway, to go about certain, activities in the manner they want to do in every other month.
Someone said all months have either 30 or 31.
Yeah.
Then he said, whoever took the number 30 and 31
from February
must also take away 14 to save everyone all those headaches. The truth about it is, people would always find a reason to do what they want to do and find a better justification.
Sure.
One day after church in South Africa on the street, we saw one guy, heckling the girlfriend. So we jumped in to, get them to stop. This lady timed the guy, gave him a huge slap. They would say, why do you do that? He said, no, it is better to give than to receive. It is better to give the slap than to receive it. She found the scripture to misbehave. People can find ways of doing whatever they want to do. If you find February, we say it's a month of love. To be honest, I haven't researched about why it becomes a month of love. But if you find February as a month of love, then the definition of love and how the world is painting it, if that's what you want to do, then fair enough. But I strongly believe that no matter what happens, that month shouldn't be the reason why we should lose our heads. That month shouldn't be the reason why. You see, this whole thing has become like a commercial fiasco. Like Christmas has become. People are buying things. Suddenly, chocolate is short. You can't find flowers. You can't find red dresses. You can't find... It's become a game and it's commercialized.
Right.
So people are pumping into the air. People are running after it. Something about me, when everyone is going into it, I stay away. I don't spend at Christmas at all. I think it's a complete waste of time. Guess what? It's still 24 hours. Trust me, all the fiasco. I don't remember the last time I was broke in January. Never. Why? When everyone is swimming towards it, relax. Most Christmas things people buy, I buy them in February. Because in the shops, they need space to put new things.
Yeah,
so they just want to lay it off. I buy it, put it down, wait for Christmas. Why shop and buy things that you can buy for 200 cedis at 1,004? Because they understand the dynamics. It's commercialization. Okay. And that's what people are falling to. So people are spending, people are sleeping together, doing all sorts of things. Don't worry, by November, we will see the fruits of their labor.
Wow. Reverend, there's a question here for you. Hello, good morning. Please ask Reverend what interesting things can be done to bond with one's partner if sex is out.
Oh, so many things. So many things. I think that one, the best thing is conversations. But how you have it, where you have it, what comes along with it. I want to talk to you about something. Doesn't necessarily mean sit in a room across a table. Take walks. Buy an ice cream. The old-fashioned way. Buy an ice cream. Take a trip.
Right.
Right? I mean, when we were young, we used to go to Ebre Gardens. It's a large greenery, and you can walk and get lost. Get into it. Buy a potato chip or something. And it will give you enough time to be able to. So that's an avenue. You just want to have a conversation. You just choose how. You don't need expensive restaurants, to be honest. You don't. Sometimes find a good street in a good area. Go to Ridge, go to cantonments, walk through, sweat, do whatever. But it gives you 2 good hours. You become more healthy, you burn some calories, you've had good time.
Yeah.
So It's simple things like that. Then also gifts. If you don't have money for gifts, try writing notes. Don't copy poems. I don't encourage those things. You know, the violet of the blue, all those.
The brightness of the day has given me the.
Do you understand? Write notes you mean. Simple things. You know, and if you have stick notes, you can just do those your funny artistic things that are very useless most of the times. But what is important are the words you put there.
Right.
Just want you to know that I care about you. You are on my mind. I cherish you.
We'll be here to review the aftermath of February 14th next week Sunday and see whether we went overboard or not.
I will be.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
it's
for having me.
Always a pleasure having you. You know, the insights into relationships and just, you know, life general, right? So, Reverend, we are grateful for the work you do.
Thank you.
That's all time will allow us for this segment where we focused on setting goals in relationships.